Hi, I'm Streaky, this is Metropolis Mastering. Today I'm discussing how I use mastering compression. So with compressors, I don't tend to use them in a heavy way as you would with if you're recording or mixing, where you're pushing things in and crushing them to really get some juice out of the sound. With mastering, because everything's at such a level and everything's quite compact in, you don't have a lot of headroom to play with. You don't really want to be crushing things too tight because you won't have any headroom to play with, but everything will start sounding undynamic and not as open as you want. Really, with mastering, you're trying to get things open, loud, spacious. With compressors, if you've got enough space to use them, you can push in a little bit further, but a lot of mixers don't have that space left. So what you're doing really is using them as a kind of glue. You might be just pushing down about half a dB or 1 dB, so it's just closing it down a little bit, and you're just using the sound of that compressor to add a little bit of flavour and a bit of tone. If you start using a compressor too hard, then what's going to happen, it does just close up the sound, and you won't get, some of the transients get lost, some of the snap, the punch, you lose a lot of that. Sometimes I'll use a multi-band compressor just so that I can use it under 100 Hertz, so that, you know, if I've added a load of EQ on in the low end to give it some body, I might then compress against that EQ so that I'm reducing the level, but really I'm just getting to tighten up the low end. But generally, if I'm using a compressor, it's more just to get a kind of overall just a very slight squeeze to the sound so that I'm getting some juice out of that compressor. I might not use compression on a compressor. I might just run through the electronics, use the tubes to push into the tubes, not using the compressor. So the needles will never move, and the needles never move on any mastering compressor I've ever used. Even if there's some little lights, they might flash for sort of half a dB or 1 dB, but that's about it. So really I'm just using it for just gain staging, for getting things a little bit louder throughout the chain, just getting the sound of that compressor. So if I was using plugins, I would be using only certain types of plugins that were going to give me a sound, not really push and crush the sound, because it really is a different technique to when you're using a compressor for recording or mixing, where you're using them to really suck the juice out the sound. Well, that's all I've got on mastering compression for today, but thanks for watching. If you'd like some longer form stuff, then there's a podcast every week, and go to my website streaky.com, where you can sign up to my email. And on a Friday I send out loads of different information on what I find during the week. Thanks for watching. Till next time, please subscribe. Bye.
That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.